Good evening and welcome to Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation. It is Monday night all over again, and I am your host, Donna Gray Banks. And tonight I have a special guest, Mr. Stan Harrison, author, business owner, community youth developer, and more. And his first novel is The Tool, the Ultimate Manipulation, and his fan base is waiting for part two of this novel. He also has had several collaborations, and his latest collab, Unspoken, It's Okay Not to Be Okay, is his current collaboration with 26 men, I believe, other male authors, and they tackle Black men's mental health. Stan, thank you for being on Zoom and on a Fresh Conversation once again.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank the audience for participating today.
Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation is brought to you by Eyeless Diamonds LLC, Lee's Press, a Dante production whose jazz series continues at Cinematique on August the 12th with Adam Kornecki, and the Fresh Book Festival, of course, is in February 2025, 20, 21, 22 in the beautiful city of Daytona Beach. It is a literacy transformation. It is year 14. Please come out and be a part. Registration begins August the 1st at www.freshbookfestivals.net. So thank you for being here. So Stan, and this conversation is being recorded. And Stan, please take a moment to introduce yourself to the audience at Facebook Live and Zoom.
Well, welcome, audience. My name is Stan Harrison. I guess, Donna, you said it all. Business owner, now new author, father, grandfather, husband, brother, uncle.
All
that's
that.
Right. You gotta bring in the fam, because that's what it's all about. And thank you for the successful. Thank you for this tribe and the wonderful experiences that I've had. So I must say that I'm just a product of this tribe when it comes down to literacy and when it comes down to becoming and developing into an author.
That is wonderful. There's nothing like a tribe. I'm telling you guys, if you don't have a tribe, a literary tribe, come join us.
That's right.
You're more than welcome.
That's right.
We're more than welcome to have you. So what was the pivotal moment that made you begin writing about your subject matter and then expand it to assisting with the novel of mental health for Black men?
So everyone knows, I've always been known as Stan the Man. And because my sister is on, she has given me about 20 other Stan the businessman, and
Stan the fisherman.
Stan the fisherman. And,
yeah.
But in the beginning, I was known as Stan the money man.
Right.
I've been the money man for almost 30 years. So, of course, my first publication had to be from finance. But what I realized is that as I have begun the process of writing, it just wasn't there. The juice just wasn't there. Sure, I can write about it, but I wasn't excited about it. And I said, if I can't be excited about reading my work, how can someone else be excited about reading my work? So what I did was I took a page from a high school teacher, and like I said, thank a teacher every now and then.
Every now and then.
Every now and then, just thank the teacher. So this particular teacher used to challenge us in doing what is called free writing. So you put your pencil, your pen down, and you had to write without picking your pencil or your pen up for 5 full minutes. So I decided to do that. So I'm in my office, of course, very, very busy day. I waited to 6:15 in the evening. All the team members are gone. The doors are locked. The fan is on. So I just sat there and just wrote, what is it that, and I asked my question, what is it that story do I want to tell the world? What contribution do I want to make to society? What positive changes do I want to help someone with? And I began to think, who have I helped recently outside of finance? And I noticed that there was a trend going on where every day someone would come in and have issues. Men would come in and just want to talk. So I knew that there was a need there. And then I realized we have millions or thousands of financial publications, but we're in the same financial boat. We have a lot of self-help publications, but none address the issues that men face. And that's where I decided, I said, where can I be most effective? I could be most effective by giving
You
voice.
were in a men's circle for a long time, weren't you?
I
Let's
have
kind
been
of
in several circles,
right. So when
several
we
men's
were
circles.
in the same city working, you had a men's circle twice a week in the dark, early in the morning.
I would have men groups, spiritual groups. In fact, I'm still part of three of them, where we
Mm,
would meet just for prayer. We would meet just to conversate about what's going on. There was a group down in Miami that I would meet with those gentlemen, and that group is still continuing. And what I would do is introduce them to the art of fishing as well. So we would take these men and we would help them develop. And my best friend couldn't be on today, but him and I um, were working on what can we give to society, what can we give back, and that thing was let's teach our children how to become fisher people, so that
mm,
they not only can eat for one meal, but that they can feed themselves for a lifetime. So that's the whole premise of writing and becoming an author. My thought process was, what can I do to significantly help someone? And by helping someone, and particularly a man, how can that impact our society? How can that impact our community? So that was the whole idea. I want to change our society for the better. I want to change our communities, because
right.
when men return to the community, our community is strengthened, because the women are still there. The men need to come back, and we need to come back 100%. We need to come back whole. And
Oh,
that's the whole idea. How do we get our men whole again? How do we deal with the issues that we face?
when you were doing Unspoken, what was more difficult, the novel or the short word count that had to be adhered to in the anthology?
Now, Donna, if I was a politician, I'll be able to answer that question. But because I'm not a politician, I will have to answer the question this way. Both were difficult, and here's why.
Okay.
As you know, as everyone know, I'm not a natural writer.
Right.
I'm a speaker. So you give me a subject and I can talk about it for an hour. But to ask me to sit down and do something unnatural like writing, that's difficult for me. So writing the book, and some people say, well, how did you become an author and when did you become an author? The reality is you never become, you just don't wake up and say, oh, I'm going to become an author. What you do is you develop.
Mm,
So the tool helped me develop to becoming a writer, but writing the section in Unspoken allowed me to further expand on what I learned from the tool. So the tool was my start, and since, because we even participated in Janice, she has an anthology as well. So
right.
I took part in her anthology as well. So this is technically my second work, or my second anthology, third work, and soon to
I
be
knew there was
fourth.
another one. I just can't remember where it was. That's why I said, yes,
Yeah,
my
it
collaboration.
was
Right.
Janice's
Hey,
last year.
Janice. Shout out to Janice Kearney.
Hey,
Yeah.
Janice, shout out.
Mhm. So when you okay, you're busy. This is your
Yes.
season. It's 2024 and things are just moving fast. And someone says, I want you to do this. You have a timeline and your turnaround, your busy schedule. How did you laser focus on what it is you wanted to talk about? Or was that clear? That was clear from the beginning in Unspoken.
Well, when Pam brought it to our attention, we were all together at Fresh, and I have to
Oh,
give
F.R.E.S.H.
Fresh.
F.R.E.S.H.
That's right,
again.
Fresh. Everything happens at Fresh. So we're all chatting, and Pam and I, communicated for a while, and she asked me to participate, and honestly, I was absolutely honored, just to be asked,
Right,
because that
right.
that's saying something when someone asks you to participate, not just to put your name, but actually put something from your heart and from your mind into it. So that in of itself. So the difficulty, of course, was, as you
And that was
stated,
at 2024?
this
Oh,
year,
okay,
2024, right?
okay.
February this year. So we're in July, and this thing is already in print.
Yeah,
So not
I was
only is
gonna
it
say,
in print, but it's front page Daytona Times. So absolutely.
yeah,
And
that's funny.
it's also at a bookstore in South Carolina right now, by the way.
All right now.
So that is
Yeah,
Unspoken.
it's moving
So
fast. Good.
it's moving. So the idea of Unspoken was as difficult as anything could be. Time crunch. You're coming off of a wonderful festival. You're getting into what we call the spring season in my business, because this is
Right.
the season right before hurricane season. So it's
Right.
extremely busy. Of course, we're in it now. So,
Right.
things don't stop, along with family and everything else that goes along. So what I had to do is do what I did when I wrote the tool. It was 5 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. So that's what I have to do. I have to get up early, I have to stay up late, and I have to basically just make a sacrifice. One of the things that has been very easy for me is to make sacrifices and to become very, very disciplined. So if
Mm.
I can become laser focused in an instant, if it's something that I want, that's why I tell people, you never have to tell a person how to do something that they want to do, ever.
No, because if they want to
So
do it, they're gonna get it done.
they're gonna do it. It doesn't matter. I'd say, how does this person do this, or how does that person do that? I've never had trouble, uh, helping people get or do what they really want to do. Where there's a will, there is a way. So in this case, there was a will, so definitely I made a way. So my tribe actually assisted me big time, because, as you know, as a natural speaker, I'm gonna write
Like you talk.
like I talk. So I run on sentences is normal for
Right.
me. So bringing that thing back, and of course my wife, she was absolutely fantastic in helping me
Edit it.
refocus,
Mhm. Mhm.
refocus my thoughts to make sure that I'm in tune. And honestly, I could have gone about 5 to 6,000 words in this one. Let me tell you, editing was tough, because she even wanted me to cut it down another 500 words, but I just couldn't do it. I had to
Couldn't
give
do. I
them what I
mean,
had.
you missed the message.
Yeah, but no, I
500
think
words.
we got it, because there's an excerpt, and if we get a chance, I may read an
Oh,
excerpt of
please
that
do.
one.
Let's
Yeah,
do it now. It's called
you want
Unspoken. Yeah,
right?
it's okay to be it's okay not to be okay. Yeah, we would love to hear
Absolutely.
something. Yeah.
So this, I wrote a story about. I had to go back. I had to dig out some childhood memories
Yeah.
to really dig into this. So this was actually very, very difficult to write, because we're dealing with mental health, and I wanted to tie everything in. And I'll just start here. The absolute deepest human desire is to be accepted, whether by a community, organization, team, family, or group. Humans simply want to be accepted. Men are not exempt from the need of acceptance. However, we do not understand how powerful this desire truly is, and the cost that we pay for admission. This desire is so deep that some men would do anything to obtain a position within a group. And of course, we all know why gangs occur because of this. The desire of, again, is so deep. Many men go through life without understanding this need, and only receive this learning much later in life. The evidence is clear. Men are 4 times more likely to commit suicide, stemming primarily from mental health issues. There are countless factors that lead to this tragic conclusion. Allow me to discuss one in particular: affirmation. I have
Mhm.
discussed the desire for affirmation with countless of men who have never truly felt affirmed by their immediate family, friends, workplace, or place of worship or employment. Men will seek to fill this need at any cost. This cost can be avoided with applied vision. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. applied his vision to help cope with stress and avoid obvious sources of mental health issues. The
Mm.
pressure that this, in quotes, at the time, 34-year-old man endured was enormous. Imagine, it's 1963. The world is divided into 2 different classes: freedom or separation, white or black, rich or poor. This man had a dream, vision, and a plan. He delivered his plan with charisma, charm, and direction. He was able to influence and lead others to his ultimate vision. He was a visionary who spoke affirmations to the world. This man endured tremendous trauma, abuse, lies, and criticisms. It could have been quite easy for him to fall under pressure. However, he understood the mission and allowed his vision to be greater than his trauma.
Mm.
Now, that's an excerpt of Unspoken. That's just a piece.
Unspoken. It's okay not to be okay. 26 other authors are there with Stan, but it's a subject that a lot of us don't want to talk about. A lot of women talk all the time, but men don't talk about trauma that's happened to them in their lifetime. So I applaud you guys for getting together. I didn't know any of that was going on, but I'm glad it all happened. I'm glad it happened well. But let's turn to your publishing experience. Now, I know the beginning was kind of rocky, right? What what are the things that new authors or even seasoned authors to try to look out? Because the game has changed since 2008 when I started, right? It really has changed. Are the nuances the same? Are there certain things we should look for that maybe we're not keying in on?
Yeah, I think it's been 3 years since I wrote the tool.
Right.
So things have changed since then. When
It's
I
been three
first,
years? Oh my
yeah,
God.
it's been 3 years. You got to think this was my baby that I birthed before
I
my
know,
grandson was born.
right?
So it's the
That's
same. My
right.
grandson will be 3 years this year, and that's the same year that the tool was birthed.
Oh,
So
that's
I know
right.
that that's the year because that's his, that's his birth year as well. So to me, it's like planes, trains, and automobiles, and you add a few more adjectives to that. But it was a rocky road because I wanted to do it all by myself. I wanted to
Right.
self-publish. I wanted to be in charge of my work. I wanted to make sure that what I wanted to get out, I got out. I'm not known as a writer, so what publisher is going to come knocking on my door? I'm a man who's busy, and if I can find 20, 30 minutes to write something, that's what I did. So I would say that the journey was a roller coaster. It was hectic. It was challenging. It was pulling your hair out. It was not easy at all. But I must say that my journey was simple than most because I had a tribe. I had people like Angie. I had people like Donna. I had people like Mama Tony. I mean, I just had people that I can just call, and I can call Mama Tony anytime, and she pick up the phone and say, "Hey, you're writing a book, but it's a business side as well." So
Right.
that was just LD was there. Andrew Ransom Jones was there. I called Keith. That's another brother. He was there. Gary Cooper was there. I think Gary was the one. I even met Gary on your show,
Right.
and Gary, if you notice, my literary tribe was all female. So I needed a man to say it's okay to write this book. And honestly, Gary, I
Because
hope
he
you're
wrote
hearing this.
his. Shout out to
He,
Gary Cooper. I mean, that was, yeah.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
when I heard that, hey, Gary wrote something like this, and I was working on mine during the time, I actually reached out to Gary, and Gary says, "Just do it, man. Just do it. It's okay." And he gave me that
Not
confidence.
permission, but a start,
Right.
push.
He gave me that confidence to say,
Right.
"Hey, if I can do it, you can too." And that was all I needed. I had a lot of support, and I didn't do it all by myself. I can't sit here and say, "Oh, I just became a writer." No, I had a lot of help. I had a lot of people supporting me 100% of the time. So this was a group effort, if you can say.
Right.
I'm a type A individual at work. I kind of run everything. But when you enter a world where you're completely unfamiliar, you got to think a lot of people in this world, like you guys, are all journalists. Y'all write all day long, every day. Not me.
Right. Right.
It
Right.
was
Right.
just not natural for me. So I had to learn how to have a thought and write it down and expand on that thought and weave that thought in and develop characters. And that was very, very difficult for me. But luckily, the tribe that we have built, I was able to pull from that tribe and develop into an author. So,
So you wrote the tool very monolithic, right?
yes.
Because you can't. Was that purposeful? Okay.
It was a purposeful because I didn't want to alienate anyone. I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings because there was a lot of truth in this book. And most people say, "Oh, well, you're that character, that character." The fact that wasn't me. I
Right.
was a complete different character, and no one picked up on it.
Right. Right.
No one picked up that I was a different character in the book. And that was who I kind of use my own personal opinions about and my personal experiences. But there was a lot of experiences and I have to say, it's about 25 different men who poured their hearts out to me, who cried on my
Mhm.
shoulder, who came to my office, who cried. And this has been years and years and years, or who just constantly call my phone. I right now have 5 or 6 different men calling me on a weekly basis just to chat about what's going on. So it's an ongoing thing. It's not something that's going to go away. And having the book as a platform allows me to tell a story and to grab the attention of men who have gone through it. You got to think the average relationship is going to fail 50% of the time in America. And in
Yes.
our community, that number is 65% of the
Right.
time. The
Yeah.
first
Right.
one. The second one, it goes to 60 and 70%. The third, 80 and 90%. So it's a constant problem. So we have to get ahead of this thing instead of just trailing what we have done. We've what I would say is we've created ways to discuss it, but we haven't developed opportunities to fix it. What the tool is, it didn't start off as a series, Don. I thought it was going to be a one and done.
No, I told you it wouldn't be. Told
I
you.
thought it was going to be a one and done. But when a known publisher read it, they said this is a movie, and that gave me a lot of inspiration. And I've already signed last week. I had my onboarding.
Okay.
So book 2 will be ready by Fresh 2025.
I mean, because you really left us hanging, and we
I
knew,
did.
yeah, there's so much more juice there on
Yes.
the meat.
Yeah.
We need more meat on the bone, so we
Yeah.
could go to part 2. Tell me, are you surprised at the people who come to your office as an insurance specialist and talk about the book?
No, not at all.
Okay.
In the beginning, I was surprised because I started getting calls from people all over the country about how did you know my story? How did you know that that was me? I got a gentleman from Connecticut who called me and said, "Hey, I'm in town. Do you mind meeting me for lunch?" And of course, I'm from a small town with 4 letters in it, beginning with the D, ending with the E. So, if a dude calls you and tell you want to meet you somewhere, you
Right.
got to be ready. So
Right.
let's just say it was questionable. So I peeped him out. I sent some scouts over to make sure that he was okay. And I ended up meeting with him, and he actually poured himself out. He cried right there at the restaurant and said, "How were you able to capture my story? And I don't know you." He said, "Stan, I never shared this story with anybody. How did you find this story? How did you know it was me?" And I said, "Sir, I didn't know it was you." And because I weave this story in, like I said, 25 different men, I weave this story together and, try to protect the innocent, of course. And I try to protect the identities of those that the story was truly
Right.
about. But I wanted to make the story as real as possible. I have so many men that actually read the book that says, "Hey, I want to share my story with you now because I've read the book." And now I, I have so much material right now. It's hard putting it all together.
Well, I'm glad that you have decided to bring it to the Fresh Book Festival. First of all, let it be the first time it hits the airways. I think that's amazing for me. And second of all, it will not be your last. You just can't do it. Once
No,
you do
no.
one, you'll do two. I mean, you just find the time to do it. Let me just say that 3 years is not a long period of time. I mean, a lot of people think it is, but when you're still working and you're still family, you're still grandpa, you're still brother, it is really hard to find solitude time to go to the next session,
There,
right?
there is no such thing as solitude time for me. Okay,
Yeah,
listen,
5 a.m. to 6:30.
there is no solitude
Yeah.
in that time because I involve myself in so much that there is people always ask me, "Are you busy?" And my normal response is not for you. But in reality, it's absolutely. I wish it was 3 of me. But time is time. What is it? 86,400 seconds in a day.
Yeah.
That's what we have, and we normally spend 36,000 of those seconds at work. Average 10 hours. So there is time. You just have to prioritize and become disciplined and focus on what's most important. Just like I mentioned earlier, find the time. We have the time. The time is the one thing that we all have the same amount of each and every day.
Mm, that's
So it's just a
right.
matter.
Well,
It's just
if
a
God's grace, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
with God's
Yeah,
grace,
yeah,
and it's just a
yeah,
matter of what we do at that
yeah.
time. What we do at that time.
So if there was an anthology that you would do, another one, what would be the topic be for men?
For men,
For men.
ooh, I'm glad it's after 8.
Yeah, this is the show. This is after 8.
It would be. I would have to say one of the most difficult parts of doing what I do is to see men struggle financially. That is
Mhm.
very difficult for me. Not just because most men just say, hey, she's got the checkbook. Don't take this the wrong way, ladies. What I'm saying is need to be aware of what's happening in their homes, and they need to understand where the finances come in and how they leave, because the man has to be able to control a certain part of that to make sure
Mm.
that there is planning for the future. So I believe in my philosophy is you're either going to die before you retire or you're going to retire before you die.
Right.
Simple. So plan for both. So when I see someone, let's do a life insurance policy, let's do a retirement plan. Simple, because one or both are going to happen. One may be before the other,
Hopefully. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's plan for it. Why is it that we as men are the least insured? This
Really?
is the reality. Men are the least insured. If I go back, I've been in this business nearly 30 years. Okay. I'm a $1 million roundtable agent, which means that I'm the top 1% of all insurance professionals, not in Florida, not in the United States, but the entire world. So,
Wow.
why is 94% of policies that I write on women?
Didn't know that.
Why? Here's why, because men don't think about
They don't
it. And
want to think about it.
they
Or they
don't
just don't.
realize they don't realize how important they really are. And when you talk with, and it's not just in one particular community, it's all over. So we don't realize our wealth. We don't realize how important we are. We don't realize that by leaving our families, there is a certain level of financial resources that immediately goes away. There's this thing called pension maximization. I tell men all the time, take advantage of that. And
Right.
that's where you take part of your pension. You receive your 100% pension, but you take a part of that and you buy a big life insurance policy so that your family can receive tax-free income for life.
Yeah. How about
Easy,
that?
easy. But we don't want to do that because we feel like, a lot of men, we're one or two things. We're the protectors and the providers. So, we wear our capes, but we don't want anyone else to see what's under that cape. And that is actually, I wrote the segment that I read earlier. There is a certain piece in there that talks about the vulnerability of men under that cape. We don't want you to see what's under the cape when I'm not performing, when I'm not saving the world, when I'm not taking care of family. What happens to us
Mm.
in our quiet time? What happens to us when no one's paying attention to us? What happens to us when no one's listening? What happens to us when we have a voice but no one is responding? These are the things that men go through. This is why we cry in the dark, because
Mm.
when people don't hear us, and to a man, the two most important women in his life are his wife or his woman and his mother. And sometimes you lose your mother and you also lose your woman. And now, where do you turn? Because those are the two most important women in your life, and those are the ones that you really, really rely on and depend on. It's hard for men to turn to other men for what we call the soft stuff,
Mm.
because just like I wrote in the tool, hey man, rub some dirt on it, let's go, because that's how we operate. You're a hero, you're a star. Rub some dirt on it, man, and let's move, because we don't have time to pat your wounds. We're at war here. We've got to keep moving, and that's how men operate. So sometimes when men say things, and I'm guilty of it, and one thing I can't say is by writing the tool, it was so cathartic. I learned more about me just writing than it was more valuable to me to learn about me and to to,
Right.
to
To
deal with,
release. To
to
release
release.
stuff. Uh-huh.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I'm writing the story for other people. And I'm, you know, looking up under my cape going, okay, where is this? Because when you
Uh,
write, when you write, you
right.
realize, wait a minute, there are some things here that I've never explored. There's some, I need that safe space. I need someone to hear me. The one thing that the book does is it gives you the opportunity of having that safe space, and you can write and you can do things that, you couldn't do anywhere else. So that's the beauty of developing into an author.
So, you just gave us the title of your next book, right?
Yes.
Why Do Men Cry in the Dark? Is that it?
No.
No, I love that. Take
No. No.
that.
It's going to be The Tool Part 2, but I haven't yet given you the subtitle yet.
So you on occasion do a workshop at Fresh called Hurt People Hurt People.
That's right.
Do people, and I think somebody corrected me the other day and they said hurt people, not hurt people, but it was something else on that line. Do you believe that that's true?
I
To a
think
certain
that
extent?
I think that the term has been used misappropriate.
Okay.
The term itself is
Maybe you're the one that gave me another term for that. I don't
yeah.
know. You did?
Probably.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. The term has been used so frequent
Flippantly, yeah.
that people don't really understand the meaning. And the meaning is when you are in pain, and I think we all go through a series of pain throughout our lives. So we're constantly in and out of pain. That's just one of those things. So just say hurting people hurt people. The reality is we all hurt. And at times we're all hurt, but it's a moment. And one of the learnings that I've had over my years is that sometimes people just have moments. It's not that they're hurting, they just have a moment, or they have a situation that they're not really attuned to. They don't truly understand what's happening here. So, for instance, you're in a conversation with a friend
Right.
or a family member, and that person may say something a little flippant, and it may hurt your feelings a little bit.
Right, just
Or you may say, hey, if that person understood me, if they knew what I was going through, they wouldn't say those words to me. And I see and I hear that all the time. The reality is that person are only being themselves. It has nothing to do with you. One of the keys to life is the 4 agreements. One of the keys in the 4 agreements is don't take things personally.
Right.
And we often take so many things personally. We have become a society of wearing your feelings on your sleeve. We have a bunch of Karens. We have a bunch of Kens. We have all kind of people out there just talking about, just sharing how much they dislike or despise someone else because someone else is doing something.
The
It's
cancel
just
culture.
the cancel. It's rather sad.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got to be above that. We've got to grow. We've got to elevate. So that's the whole premise of anything that I write. I try to write things that are going to grow and elevate your emotion, your spirit, your sense of self-worth, and hopefully it elevates your finances, because when you're able to get all that junk out of your head and realize what's important, you begin to make proper decisions about your finances and well-being. And once your finances are in order, we all know what happens with that. Then we're able to control our future. We're able to control our freedoms. So, a lot of times, when I came up, it was all about, I came up in a small town, start with a D, end with an E. So we all knew that you had to hustle to get out of here.
Right.
Either hustle or die.
Or stay
get rich or die.
Yeah.
Get
Be
rich
there
or die.
forever. Yeah.
That's just the way it was. So you had to be better. In whatever you were involved in, you have to be better. Your prices had to be better. Your ice had to be colder. You had to do the dang on thing to make sure you stood out. So that was the name of the game. So you did what you had to do. So that's the whole idea.
What age do you see in your business and in being in the industry that men decide that the light bulb comes on?
When does it turn on?
When does it turn on completely?
Turn off or turn on?
On.
In terms of the
insurance, wanting to make sure that there's no category, there's no time.
What's beauty, I would say I'm not a big fan of social media, but I will say that social media has helped a few young men with some of the concepts. Now, because it's social media, it cannot be thorough,
right?
Naturally. So there's a lot of things. I'll get questions from young men now that I normally wouldn't have gotten questions from because of social media, in particular Instagram, the short videos showing men, hey, you can do this, or you can do this. You can do this with a interest-bearing stock account, or you can do this with a with the life insurance, what I call a ULI, Universal Life Insurance Trust. You can do all kinds of things. So the fact that they're asking now, and these are 18, 19, 20-year-old, and I'm impressed with
Okay.
it. So whenever that happens, I just get super excited. And I say, let's just come in and let's just have a chat. I want to make sure that you understand what this is truly about. And I have a number of young men who are starting to really make a difference in their lives. So we create, like I said, my vision, if anyone has ever heard me, my vision is to create a millionaire every day.
Yes, I love
Every
that.
day.
I
Every day.
love that. Yeah, a
So
millionaire every day.
today we made a female a millionaire. So
That's true. I mean, I admire you and everything that you do. And plus, these are not subjects that are easy to talk about for men.
oh,
Money, marriage, narcissism, trauma. It's just not easy for them. And I thank you for giving them the platform to do it. I thank you, Miss Pam. If you want to come on, if you want to come online, you can, for putting you all together, and making it happen. Do you want to give us any words of wisdom, Pam? Are you there?
I
Hi.
am here.
Hi.
there she is.
I am completely shocked and surprised. Stan, you pulled one over on me. I did not know about the bookstore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just sitting here with like this, my smile is. And Donna, thank you, because
Oh,
I know, you're our person and I appreciate you. When I saw the stuff that Yonda has sent me and you shared, I'm like, this was not what I was expecting. When I sat down with Stan, I told Stan I was looking for a substitute for my seminar because it's hard to get men to sit at a panel and
right.
talk. So I was like, so what other avenue can I use to help them help others? And I came up with that. And the men just came, and I wasn't expecting this. I'm so excited, but I don't know what to do with it. I'm just sitting here going, oh my God.
So you do it again. It's called Unspoken too.
Well,
Talking about what is
to
it?
kind of be like,
Yeah,
Stan,
yeah,
it's unspoken. It's okay not to be okay
right,
from the inside.
right.
So this will be talking to the men in prison.
Oh, nice. Good.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna do the men in prison. I got that when I was in Indianapolis. There was a guy who was in jail for 10 years and 10 months, and he saw the book and he said, well, will you ever do anything with the men behind bars? And I was like, I can. So
Yeah, I mean,
all my
it's
personal
really,
stuff is on hold.
yeah, it's really hard to be behind a gated community that you can go into and hard to come out of. Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
true. Very true. So thank you, Pam, for being here this evening.
Thank
Stan,
you, Steve.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you,
bring you
Donna.
back online. Thank you, Pam. Um, is there anything, Stan, that you would like to share with us that we did not get a chance to discuss?
Um, I just think that I again, the only thing that I want to share is, OSP. That's operating with a sense of purpose. I've realized that a lot of men and people that I deal with in general, when they don't have that sense of purpose, they're kind of on a ship or on a flight or on a train
Mm.
or whatever vessel they're on, aimless. Um, just the idea of just shooting from the hip without thought. Just bringing that, I just want to make sure that we, operate with a sense of purpose to make sure that whatever you do, be intentional about it. My wife tells me all the time, you run circles around just about everyone, and we can't understand how you get the energy. And the
Right.
reality is this: I have a purpose in mind, and there used to be my cell phone used to, when it rung, it rang a train, and I was the black locomotive. And if you
Right.
got in my way, you got ran over. And that was the idea. I was the A train. So you either get out of the way or you get ran over. That was just my philosophy. I would not allow anyone to get in the way of what I was trying to accomplish. So when we do book 2 of Unspoken, when I finally get to a place where my wife gives me permission, and I say that permission to write this finance book, because I will do it eventually, we will do it with a sense of purpose.
So tell us how we can get copies of Unspoken and the tool.
Well, the tool is available on our website, which is thetoolmanipulation.com. Or you can email me at thetoolmanipulation@gmail.com. Again, thetoolmanipulation.com. You can order your copies there. Your autographed copies will be mailed directly to you. Absolutely. If Pam, I'm sure you have if you want a copy of Unspoken, I do have those available at my office. I have multiple copies of there. You can go to South Carolina bookstores. You can pick them up there. There's plenty of places that you can go. And of course, you can purchase both books from Amazon.com. If you just type in the words, type in the titles of the book, and the works will be mailed to you. I do have a special gift for all Fresh participants this year.
Okay.
Next year. We have wonderful backpacks that
I love
handles,
those.
and so that's what Fresh participants will have this year, courtesy of Angel.
So Thank you, Angel.
It was her design that created
nice.
that. So
very nice. So Stan, it's all, we've known each other for years. I appreciate you and all that you do in the community. I really appreciate you teaching young men how to fish, because it's an art form that, we've kind of lost, and it gives them such confidence to be out on the boat and doing fisher people stuff, because there are girls there too, little girls there too. And
so, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Our numbers have increased.
Changed.
In fact, in 2022, we start noticing a major shift, and that 50% of our participants were female. 2023, that number grew to 65%.
I think that's wonderful. First of all, if you catch it, I can clean it.
Yeah,
but if I can catch it and we both can clean it, that's even more money.
but here's the thing, Donna, we even expanded that thing that we included family functions on the boat.
I know.
I mean, this is the beautiful thing about expansion and getting out there and doing something different. And once you're above that or beyond that horizon, you realize your mind shifts. It's a mind shift. So that's the whole idea of taking these kids. I keep these kids, and honestly, I must be some type of miracle worker, because in order to have parents bring their kids to me and say, here you are for 12 hours.
Right.
Not, of course, I'm sure they've researched me and they realize that, I go by the, I don't leave a man behind. So every kid now is required to wear a life vest, the whole time that they're on the water. So, for parents to release their kids to me and say, he or she is yours for 12 hours. And I take that I take that to heart. Yeah, I'm taking 35 kids. And then in a week, we're taking 47 kids in Fort Pierce. So we have 47 kids going with us there. Boy Scouts, Boys and Girls Clubs, local organizations, you name it. We're taking these kids out and we're showing them things that no one else is able to show them. And we're giving them an experience that they have never had.
It's called Scholastic Anglers?
Academic
Anglers. And yes. You can sponsor a child for a day on the water to learn a trade of fishing, and be a part of a group of young people who are really going to make a difference in this world. So tell people how they can donate to be a part of your angler program.
You can give me a call directly at my office, 386-427-5277. And we just upgraded our website. Our famous Mrs. Enos Roberts just updated our website, and it's Academic Anglers Children's Fishing Clinic.com. And you can go there, you can donate. You can see all from 2014, since we've been taking kids out in Florida. You know, we've done I'm sorry, 2007, since
Right.
we've been taking kids in Florida. We started in 2004 in Virginia, and then we moved the program to Florida in 2007. So my son actually grew up
Mm.
part of this program, and my sisters have all participated in helping me coordinate. And I truly have missed them over the last few years, you know, during COVID and everyone's busy. But thankfully, you know, the tribe gets bigger and other people have had to step up because we have to take care of these kids. We feed them, we clothe
Absolutely.
them, we feed them, we clothe them, we take care of them, we pat them on the back and we dry their tears, because some of them get out there in the water and they cry for mommy, and they realize real fast there's no mommy around, you only have me. So I got my cape on.
So it's the academic anglers, it's the tool, it's unspoken, it's okay not to be
Not
okay.
to be okay.
Right. And everyone, this is Mr. Stan Harrison. If you have any insurance needs, please reach out to him. Other than that, he is a person of integrity, and I do business with him, and so I think you should too. And so this has been Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation. When the lights go out and the cell phone towers go down, all you have left is a flashlight and a good book. Thank you,
But
everybody.
I
Yeah.
have a pearl of wisdom, Donna.
Oh, okay. Give it to me.
Don't
Give it to me.
forget.
I
Don't
thought I
forget.
gave it to you. I thought you gave it to
Oh, you know me, I have a bunch of them. But this is one that I want to leave to the audience, and
me. Okay.
this is particular for my family. And I appreciate them so much. They don't even know how much. And this was a extract. So you will never encounter a doubter, naysayer, or hater in your entire life that's doing better than you.
There you have it. And there you have it. Thank you, everybody, for being on Zoom and on a Fresh Conversation. Good night, all. Good night, everybody.